YouTube, it's your homegirl. Need I say more? Yes, I always got more to say. Today, so you're a woman and you're going to prison. What can you expect? If I had technology, this would be like, there's like an intro. I don't have all that. All right. So, I did 7 months of a year-long sentence at Carswell Women's Medical Facility in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. This was a felony, a federal felony. I was a coyote. I was transporting undocumented people, right? Speaking of which, a los antepasados, a la madre. All right. I'm not going to try and tell you everywhere. I'm only going to share with you what I know from where I went. All right. So Carswell Medical Facility for Women is a facility that is on Carswell Air Force Base in Fort Worth, Texas, which is on the bottom edge of the Bible Belt and in sort of a desert arid region. This is important. So that lipstick is fire. The prison is divided into two halves, okay? One half is the women's medical facility. This is the place where, say, women with mental health, severe mental health issues, or women who are terminally ill, or women who are fighting cancer. Maybe it's beyond just taking a pill. If their chemo is a pill, maybe they need... This is the place where prisoners need medical attention, or they're terminal, they're towards the end of their life. This is where they send them. Okay. On the other half, at one time on this federal facility, I have to say like facility, on this facility, there was what was it? It was a BEQ at one time. Remember, this is on an Air Force base. Don't smoke cigarettes. It was on an Air Force base. So at one time, this side that I was on, the work camp, was a BEQ, which is where, like, I guess the people in the military who don't have mad high rank, that's like their quarters where they can get rooms and such, right? Then Motel 6 went through and bought that, and for many years it was a Motel 6. So it kind of looked like a Motel 6, but much dilapidated. Like, it was kind of a running joke because you'd be walking every day and one of those rusted, super rusted metal beams that, you know, holds up structures would just fall. I'm surprised nobody was killed. So at Carswell and on this level of security, everybody gets a job. You have to have a job. You have to have a job or you'll be in trouble. Or they'll send you somewhere else. But you're here, you're going to work. Okay? A lot of this work is done to maintain the prison itself. A lot of this work is done as contract labor out to the Air Force Base. We're on Carswell Air Force Base. Okay? So everybody gets a job. A good paying job in prison is 25 cents an hour. That's a big thing because if you get something from the dispensary, or like say you have family that puts money on your books, which you're going to need, because here, say you get a job landscaping and you need tennis shoes, they have tennis shoes for you to buy, but you have to make the money. How are you going to make the money if the tennis shoes are $50 and you make 25 cents an hour? You have to have, and I feel like this is a scam. This is the way they get money, because in that In that store where the inmates get their stuff, everything's at least like 30% more expensive. They mark everything up 30%, and you get paid 25 cents an hour. The only way you can afford most anything is if your family's putting money on your books, or somebody's putting money on your books, right? So, in my room, I had 4 roommates. I was on the work campsite. So there were 5 of us in a room. Remember, these looked like Motel 6 rooms, right? It looked like Motel 6. But instead, they had bunk beds inside. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then one by itself. Okay? And you can rearrange your room how you want. And then they have a schedule every day. One person's in charge of cleaning the room. This is how we do it, etc., etc. Okay? But as far as like, what else? The basics. Carswell. In the summer, right now, it is very hot. And most of your jobs are outside jobs. So I had 3 jobs while I was in there. The first job that I had was recycling. So when you have recycling detail, you'll go out there and there'll be like mad piles, or like these like trailers worth of recycling, right? And you have to organize it. So you have to go through each individual bag. If there's something in there that doesn't belong in recycling, you'll throw it out. This is done outside under a tree, if you're lucky, in the heat. And you're dealing with big pallets, like those pallets that are wood and have like different, like 2 sides, and it's, you know, like those little pallets. Yeah, you're dealing with those, and you're bringing out tons of recycling. You're organizing them. You're putting it where it goes. Then I was landscaping. In Texas, we do the Texas heat a different way, because in Texas, the heat is for real. So if you have a good landscaping leader, the whichever guard is in charge of landscaping. My guard was Miss Corona. Redheaded lady. Super cool. She was super cool. So we would get out there and be at work probably by 6:30 in the morning. You become acclimated to this. I lived a crazy nighttime lifestyle, and I thought this was going to be, but you get into the routine, and they make you get into it, and then your body acclimates, and you're fine. So we're out there like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. You get it done as quick as possible. If you're lucky, it's all done by the time you go to lunch. When you come back, if you're lucky, they let you stay in the workshop until the day is over. If you're lucky. If Miss Corona's still there. Hey, Miss Corona. So, my third job, I was housekeeping. So, there is a detail where they actually take you out of the prison and onto the military base. And you're either housekeeping or you're landscaping, which is another story. Right? So, if you're housekeeping, you're going to be a van with a bunch of the prisoners, ladies, bunch of ladies. It's a women's hallway, right? You're going to go to each one they have a contract with. This is an independent contractor that has a contract with the base, and then they get your labor, and they take you from you're basically going to the clean in these military buildings, the head. You're going to clean the bathrooms, the women's, the men's. There's a closet. You go in there, and after a while, you get it down like NASCAR. Everybody has a routine. They're good at what they're good at. They work with who they work with, and you go in there, and you're like, and you get it done. Boom, 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 boom. You get out, you go to the next one. If you're landscaping, this is the funny one. If you're landscaping, it's exactly what it sounds. You're working the lawns on the base, right? A lot of that detail, they use the riding mowers, right? You may be called upon to do some tree trimming. So yes, I learned how to use a chainsaw in prison. Not saying that made me more dangerous, but anyway. And then, this is, okay. So when I was there was this one landing strip where it's high security, right? Planes come in and out, high security landing strip, right? This is top security. But there's grass all around. And the grass had to be mowed. So you know who had the gate code to this top security? I probably shouldn't say this on the internet. Don't reach out to any of them. The convicted felons had the gate code to this top security landing strip. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So I went in there and what else? Those are the basics of Carswell Women's Facility in Fort Worth, Texas. Fights. I didn't really see any fights. When I did see a fight, it had to do with something romantic. It was a lesbian couple. Somebody didn't do right. Some this and that. There was a fight over that. There's little spats. The funniest thing of being a medical facility is that you have a bunch of older ladies and they get to the most dangerous, the most dangerous place in the women's facility with older ladies is the pill line. Oh, we all knew pill line was for real. You did not mess with pill line because those ladies would, and if you would cut, they walkers, canes, those rough bitches. Oh, bitches, they would fight. Don't cut in the pill line. But what else? Don't feed the squirrels. The guards will yell at you. Don't feed the wildlife. It was cool because, this is another thing about Carswell. Carswell, since it's a work camp, it looks like Motel 6. Most of the space is outside. So you have a track. You have a weight room. You don't have a pool. I don't think we have a pool. But there's a lake. You can't go by the lake. But it's so low security. You can see literally the end of the prison gate. And it ends in the water. The lake that's right by you. So if you wanted to add 10 years to your sentence and chance it, you could just go around. But nobody ever did. Because no one wanted to add 10 years to their sentence, and no one's that stupid. I certainly didn't. But there were some funny stories. I'll end on one. I might have a few minutes. I would run the track, right? And there on the other side, there's a lot of the homes for the higher ranking, like officers and their families. And I would always see, as Labrador retrievers do, was it a golden retriever? It looked more like a golden. It looked like a golden retriever. As they do, they always get out of the fence. And they're smart and they'll go back when the owner comes back and they never know, right? So I would always see people jogging during the day, different housewives, sometimes pushing a carriage. And this dog that's out in the day is just like, hey, what's up? This is my golden retriever. Hey, what's up? She's all like, ah! And every day this golden retriever gets out and I see people walking and the golden retriever's like, what's up? What's up? Being all friendly with everyone. Some people don't know. Some people are like, hey! He's super like the star of the neighborhood, right? So one day there was a marathon race. And a lot of people from the military participated. All I saw was the dog running like lightning, like it was scared. I looked, and there's a marathon of army people coming right behind us, started being chased. This dog didn't know the meaning of the fence, and sometimes he would come in. So there you go.